The Book of Mormon exposes the enemies of Christ. It confounds false doctrines and lays down contention. It fortifies the humble followers of Christ against the evil designs, strategies, and doctrines of the devil in our day. The type of apostates in the Book of Mormon are similar to the type we have today. God, with his infinite foreknowledge, so molded the Book of Mormon that we might see the error and know how to combat false educational, political, religious, and philosophical concepts of our time.
We should also be cautious about the motivation of the one who provides information. That's why the scriptures warn us against priestcraft.
In the Lord's commandment to the people of this day, tithing is 1/10 of all their interest annually, which is understood to mean income. The First Presidency has said no one is justified in making any other statement than this. We pay tithing, as the Savior taught, by bringing the tithes into the storehouse. We do this by paying our tithing to our bishop or branch president. We do not pay tithing by contributing to our favorite charities. The contributions we should make to charities come from our own funds, not from the tithes we are commanded to pay to the storehouse of the Lord. The Lord has directed by revelation that the expenditure of his tithes will be directed by his servants, the First Presidency, the Quorum of the 12, and the presiding bishopric.
And they shall pay 1/10 of all their interest annually, and this shall be a standing law unto them forever. The Lord clearly directed how tithing should be dispersed, saying, "Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse," meaning bring the tithes into his restored kingdom, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He directed that the use of these sacred tithes would be prayerfully considered by a council of the First Presidency, the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, the presiding bishopric, and by mine own voice unto them, saith the Lord.
Travis Wayne Goodsell on this Fast and Testimony Sunday for Mormons all around the world. On my run this morning, I saw the fullering uppering moon. Mr. 10-1, it's coming. The Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith are going to be sealed up for all time and for all eternity as true. I've got room on my gold plates for them once fulfilled. So yes, Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon were the prophecies. I am the fulfillment. We are in the final seconds. After 8 years, technically 11, 8.8K videos. We're finally out of the tunnel and heading towards the finish line. So it's all about the Word. The Word of the Book of Mormon. The Word of Joseph Smith being true. My word being true. And because I ran the test on the Book of Mormon, knowing that the Book of Mormon is true and that Joseph Smith is true, I therefore am able to identify false doctrines. Benson is correct. That the Book of Mormon exposes false doctrines, false political speech, words, false economies, false religions. This is because of the words. Never mind that Benson would go on to preach false words after that. The seed in the Book of Mormon is told to us to be likened unto the Word. The Word likened unto seed. In a seed, whether it's human, animal, plant, has a design within it. And when it is set into motion to be created, it only produces after the design. It does not produce a mutation. It does not produce anything contrary to its design. So words will only produce after their design. And so if somebody comes along and mistranslates the word, misinterprets the word, misdefines the word, they are now tampering with the word, creating a different word. And that will produce a different result because it's a different word, different design. It's all right there in scriptures. Mormons, for their fast and testimony meeting today, will get up and speak words on their rameumptums. And it'll be rote. You'll hear a lot of similarities. Many of you will get bingo today. Did you even watch my video yesterday? Hilarious. And Mormons have been taught by this church since 1993 to pray about the word until you get a feeling that the word that the church told you to interpret the word with is true. Liken the word unto a seed. Somebody gives you an apple seed, hypothetically. It can be an orange, it can be grape, whatever. And they have name tags for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, whether it's elder or Hermosa. It is Hermosa, right? Sister. And they give you a seed as an investigator, and they ask you to kneel down with them to pray if the seed is true. And then they wait, hoping that you will get the feeling that the seed is true. Once you get that feeling, is that the fruit? Oh my God, no. Don't even say yes. Don't you dare go there. You can go and live in your own community and pray about good feelings for seed and see how long you live. As for me and my seed, we're going to plant them and produce the fruits. I want food. I want the results. This is a real simple doctrine that Mormons all botched. Real simple. Physical results after the design. So thus, why yesterday, Nelson. I did the video just the other day too about how the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith, when tested, would have allowed the early saints converted to Joseph's church to combat the soon thereafter publication of the false words of Darwin. Because the Book of Mormon taught specifically that those, in advance of them being published, are false. Natural selection, theory of evolution, false. And yep, Nelson, who failed to demonstrate that he knows the Book of Mormon is true, also in the Book of Mormon condemns, along with Joseph Smith, before the publication of Karl Marx. The Book of Mormon, as Benson tells you, exposes false doctrines. But you have to have the correct translation, the correct interpretation, and the correct definition of words for the correct design. Not a complicated doctrine. We'll see if we have time. We're only at 10 minutes. Only 10 minutes. So, yesterday's video, I put them at the end of the video. Here we'll put them near the beginning. Words of Joseph Smith, section 134. They got published in 1835's Doctrine and Covenants, just barely. On government. We believe that religion is instituted of God, and that men are amenable to Him and to Him alone for the exercise of it, unless their religious opinions prompt them to infringe upon the rights and liberties of others. But we do not believe that human law has a right to interfere in prescribing rules of worship, to bind them to Jesus, the consciences of men, nor dictate forms of public or private devotion. Yeah, sorry, King Henry VIII. I am. That the civil magistrate should restrain crime, but never control conscience, should punish guilt, but never suppress the freedom of the soul. Just awesome. Just awesome. And then he was assassinated running for president of the United States of America. Warned you, Trump. I warned you. You're not listening. The words are true. Watch. They're blossoming. The fruit's almost here. We believe that all men are bound to Jesus. Do not infringe. To sustain and uphold the respective governments in which they reside, while protecting in their inherent and inalienable rights by the laws of such government, and that sedition and rebellion of religion are unbecoming every citizen thus protected, and should be punished accordingly. Death penalty. And that all governments have a right to enact such laws as in their own judgments are best calculated to secure the public interest. At the same time, however, holding sacred the freedom of conscience. We believe, skipping down to 7. We believe that rulers, states, and governments have a right and are bound to enact laws for the protection of all citizens and the free exercise of their religious belief. First Amendment, in case you forgot. But we do not believe that they have a right, in justice, to deprive citizens of this privilege, or proscribe them in their opinions, so long as a regard and reverence are shown to the laws and such religious opinions do not justify sedition nor conspiracy. We do not believe it is just to mingle religious influence with civil government, whereby one religious society is fostered and another prescribed in its spiritual privileges and the individual rights of its members and citizens denied. Right, YouTube? Only the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints' YouTube channel only recommends only the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints' videos. And then there's Trump, who likewise. Nobody else gets this privilege. So whose standards and values are the community guidelines for YouTube? Sedition, conspiracy, treason, terrorism. What is the punishment again? We believe that all religious societies have a right to deal with its members for disorderly conduct, according to the rules and regulations of such societies, provided that such dealings be for fellowship and good standing. But we do not believe that any religious society has authority to try men of the right of property or life. And I would add liberty. To take from them this world's goods, or to put them in jeopardy of life or limb. Or to inflict any physical punishment upon them. Right? D. Todd Christofferson. they can only excommunicate them from their society and withdraw from them their fellowship. Bishop Reed Hammond, we don't shun members in our ward, in my ward. And then I was shunned. Because D. Todd Christofferson, hello, Reed Hammond, we have a troublemaker alert. Travis is posting on YouTube that Adam fell that man might be. That goes contrary to the words of the living prophets. Then they're wrong. Duh. Section 85, verse 2. Talking to W.W. Phelps about being a clerk to the bishop. Is it Edward Partridge? Is that the bishop? It definitely wasn't the Newell K. Whitney. Definitely wasn't him. And so, talking about Zion and the gold plates that I'm writing, about those who get to come to Zion, the book of the law is to also record Mormons' manner of life, their faith and works, and also of the apostates who apostatize after receiving their inheritances. Yeah, apostasy is not going against your false interpretations of the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith. It is taking away the rights, the agency of life, liberty, and property. Those apostates use the correct definition of words. And finish it off and nail the coffin in the nail. (123) Joseph Smith in Liberty Jail for false brethren who framed and blamed him with the wrong words about his religion. See, and Mormons don't get this. If Joseph Smith was Christian and saw Jesus, why would Christians want him dead? Isn't he true? It's not that way. What is the keys for the head of the church, Mormons? Yeah, Moses, not Peter. Section 107, 91, and 92. The keys of Moses is for the latter-day gathering exodus to Zion. The Jewish Christ, not Jesus. And so, as a Jewish Christ, titled Messiah ben Joseph, by the way, 2 Nephi chapter 3. Joseph Smith was and is proving to be, in these latter days, a seer, a prophet, a revelator, and yes, a translator of Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian. Jewish. Christians deny the powers of all of those. They will admit to prophet, and they'll accept the one in Samuel, about before time a prophet was called a seer. They acknowledge revelator with the wrong translation, interpretation, and definition of John the Apostle. But hell no to translator. Those glass lookers. Witches! Burn the witch! That's why Joseph Smith was murdered by his own. Because he is not Christian. Get the right word. Get the right design. So, 123. Because again, Benson told us about the wrong word that missionaries were telling new converts. Christian, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ. And Joseph Smith, by Benson at the Pulpit of Conference, Section 84, 1832, Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball's converts. You put the whole church under condemnation. And so what do you know? Section 86, they're still not listening. In December 1832. Seeds of wheat versus seeds of tares. And what do you know? The one who spreads the tares is called an apostate. Missionaries. Apostates. So who are the evil disposed and designing militant persons against Joseph's Church of the Latter-day Saints? Verse 1, correctly copied from the original document published in 1842 in the Times and Seasons. Who put Jesus in the name? Oh, Willard Richards, the missionary. Under Brigham Young. Real simple to expose false religions. Benson is so true and then was so false. As he would tell us boys to turn off our little factories. To fear the image of woman. They're evil. Evil. Cover them up. Hide them. Evil. You'll go blind. You'll get a virus. She's got the looks that kill. Evil. Pregnant women are pernicious evil. You know that that's only going to get us boys curious to know why they would be so evil, and then we want to seek after them. Article of Faith number 13. Words. And again, we would suggest for your consideration the propriety of all the saints gathered up a knowledge of all the facts and sufferings and abuses put upon them by the people of this nation and state of Utah. Yeah, I'm talking about my gold plates. Remember? And also of all the property and amount of damages which they have sustained, both of character and personal injuries, as well as real property. Yep. And the names of all the apostates. And also the names of all persons that have had a hand in their oppressions as far as they can get hold of them and find them out. So this is for victims. This isn't for the abusing religions. D. Todd Christofferson. And perhaps a committee, not a strengthening church members committee, can be appointed to find out these things and to take statements and affidavits. Yeah, what about Thomas B. Marsh's? You keep lying about that one. And also to gather up the libelous publications that are afloat. Yeah, this is where the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints got the idea for the Strengthening Church Members Committee back in, what was that, 85 or 86? Which, if it's 86, it would be Benson. I should have it. Should have kept it in the files. Should be here. It should be here. Are you bleeping kidding me? It didn't. Come on. Okay. Well, it's been 29 minutes. 29 minutes. Maybe I'm being left alone finally after they got to that part in the video yesterday. Yep. Yep. But he became president in 86, you dumbasses. No, I don't want to donate. God. Because, oh my hell. So unless Kimball died in 84, this means that he did it without being sustained by the church. Oops. Right, Nelson? So bring up the curse of Joseph Smith to see when Kimball died. Rock lobster. Lobster. Oh, yep. 5th November, 1985. Yep. As soon as they get a little authority as they suppose, they begin to exercise unrighteous dominion. Yep. And all that are in magazines. So you've got the whole collection of Playboy, Hustler, and whatever else there is. But dear, I have to. It's for my job. Women, the correct response is, why aren't you wanting to photograph me? Oh, hey, that would liven up your marriage, wouldn't it? But the church says it's porn. I'm porn. I'm evil. And you believe those words? You're beautiful. beautiful. I hate that song. Ugh. I prefer Prince. Could you be the most beautiful girl in the world? It's plain to see. You're the reason why God made a girl. Prince. They made a spirit version of Prince. The hologram in that performance. Encyclopedias, libelous histories that are published and are writing, and by whom? So yes, Karl Marx, Darwin, and present the whole concatenation of diabolical rascality and nefarious and murderous impositions. Oh, so you guys and your plot to murder Trump. I'm just being obedient. That have been practiced upon this people, that we may not only publish to all the world on YouTube, getting attacked by the very people, but present them to the heads of government in all their darkest and hellish hue, as the last effort which is enjoined on us by our Heavenly Father, before we can fully and completely claim that promise, which shall call him forth from his hiding place, and also that the whole nation may be left without excuse before he can send forth the power of his almighty arm. It's sore today. I had a person on academia comment about a link to YouTube in which a rabbi says that Joseph Smith talked with Elohim. Oh God. And now I was supposed to watch it and prove I'm false or something. Oh my God, there's just so much wrong with that. And I have it in the pile. If we get to it, we get to it. We're only at 35 minutes. Wanting to get rid of these papers. It is an imperative duty that we owe to God, to angels, with whom we shall be brought to stand. Yep. Hello, angels. Hi, Travis. In Zion, to bow down with grief, sorrow, and care under the most damning hand of murder, tyranny, and oppression, supported and urged on, and upheld by the influence of that spirit which hath so strongly riveted the religious creeds of Christianity. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Who have inherited lies upon the hearts of the children, filled the world with confusion, and hath been growing stronger and stronger, and is now the very mainspring of all corruption, and the whole earth groans under the weight of its iniquity. It is an iron yoke to Jesus. It is a strong band of fascism. They are the very handcuffs and chains and shackles and fetters of hell. And he goes on. So, any doubt now that Joseph was not a Christian? dumbass Mormons. You had the Book of Mormon. You have no excuses for not knowing and understanding the correct translation, interpretation, and definitions of the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith. So that when you see a false doctrine come up saying it's by Joseph, you go, no, that's a Mark Hoffman forgery of Brigham Young. Real simple. Not complicated. So, we're done. Do you want it to be quick? Or can I get rid of some of these papers? As you know, I write notes from the design in my head as to what to talk to you guys about. So there's been a collection gathering. So I already have the thumbnail picture for you. I already have the title of the video for you, as you already know. We just got to put in Benson, and we're done. Just need to put in Benson, and we're done. So, I don't know, I want to throw them away. But if by chance there's some topic that you want me to do a video on, okay, fine, we'll do it. Just put your comment saying, I want that one, Travis. I want that one. And please do them all, Travis. Please do them all. Don't have time to do them all. Authority, credibility. Yeah. So, Brigham Young's changes, not authorized, no credibility. Elohim, Christian error. Don't prove the LDS church is true. It's a non sequitur argument. Oh, this is news. Interesting. Okay, I can throw that one away. I already covered that. Good. Picture video of the fulfillment of Nephi's Tree of Life vision. Like I said, gold plates. We're done. I'm just waiting for the final word of prophecy to be fulfilled, Mr. 10-1. I saw a pattern, and I opened up my mind, I saw the sign. Oaks' second coming of Jesus versus the actual scriptural version of the Jewish Christ. You're all gonna die, but if you're righteous, you'll be raised from the dead. Synagogues infiltrated by Christians versus religion as church. The church of God, the religion of God, not a building. Synagogues were the buildings of the Jews. So then Christians took over the synagogues and call them churches. 3 kingdoms. It's amazing how you are not supposed to impose your religion on others. Joseph Smith and his 3 kingdoms allows for the freedom of religion. Mormons who lie and destroy. Oh yeah. All those who claim to be victim. The sister missionary who falsely claimed that her mission president in the MTC raped her. She even went to his church during a fast and testimony meeting, and it was found out that she lied. I mean, seriously, wow, that's dark. To destroy a person's life, just for what? He was the mission president in the MTC, and you're wanting to accuse him of rape? Decades later? Dear God, that's disturbing. The BYU co-ed who ruined the starting quarterback's life with her false accusation of rape. The UK court, accusing Nelson of having ritual sacrifices of babies in the basement of the Salt Lake Temple, drinking their blood. And a woman commented on my channel telling me about this and testifying that she knows it's true, and I need to testify that it's true on my channel. Bleep you, get out of here. As much as it would be fun to find out about this, that it's true, because he did go to the Skull and Bones Society at the U of U, yeah, that's where he knew of Karl Marx, his peer buddy. But the only one that was true, and obviously dismissed by the Supreme Court of Utah, was Nelson's daughter back in the 80s with her husband, the 8 kids and the satanic rituals in their bountiful basement. But waiting until he became president, that was there's no way to prove it. You have to have the documents, guys. You can't just make accusations. You can't just go, well, I had repressed memory from my psychologist who were giving me drugs because I was trying to tell people, and the church and their hotline sent me to the psychologist who drugged me. And then they gave me flashbacks of things that didn't happen. So, for LDS are ashamed of the keystone gospel of the Book of Mormon. I went over that with you today. LDS don't know Mormonism. The religious type, the administration and succession that Joseph Smith had, the scriptures interpretation, the rituals, religion, the organization, history, intentions and the future plans. It's all harmful. So yeah, I do these videos, and you're supposed to study the scriptures that I talk about. So when I put Oakes and Anderson saying that section 120 says the word 12 apostles, you check them. Does section 120 say the 12 apostles? No, they lied. How hard is that to figure out? Oakes and Anderson lied. They're liars. Because I'm sure they're not illiterate. Are they? Are they illiterate? And so if you're thinking that a high council means 12 apostles, what did you do to the design of the word? And so, yeah, Utah is number 1, and banning of porn, sexual violence, spousal murders, women on drugs by psychologists. Just makes me cry. Procrastinating Mormons denied entrance into Zion, studying Book of Mormon to identify the great and abominable church. You have no honor and integrity if you know the truth and you deny it. Right, Avraham Gileadi? what makes the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints true? Seriously, what? As an investigator, you're supposed to search and study this before saying, yeah, okay, I'll join and pay you. Never just join. Never. Figure out what they're up to. And so the deity, tithing, love, lay ministry, oh, that's not for the ones at the top, that's only for the ones at the bottom. Authority, religion type, founder, the Book of Mormon, temple, faith, prophet, anthropology versus investigator. Because as an anthropologist, the foremost anthropologist, which I can apply it into any field, into any time, because it includes all the sciences. Yeah, I've been telling you about the anthropology of Joseph Smith's church versus Brigham Young's abomination. Oh, it's a clear, distinct difference. But this was for investigators, because they're not the professionals in the field. Cyber attacks don't prove the church is true. Well, it makes them laugh. But they can't defend the church. And so that's the only thing they can do, is commit crimes. And so, yeah, the Book of Mormon exposes and condemns Christianity as false. I'll probably throw this away. Let's see. LDS denied entrance into Zion as foolish virgins. Video about church financial corruption, combining all sources of tithing. So wealthy, not giving. Yeah, those are just... We've covered those. Let's see. Psychologists in the 1990s created LGBTQ to destroy the rights of women, blacks, Hispanics, even white men. 14th Amendment, Section 1. You are already protected. Psychologists use that, like religion, to destroy the Constitution, to be imposed and enforced on everybody. Everyone was LGBTQ, then the human race would go extinct. Hello? Well, no, if you have a trans man and a trans woman who decide to date, you're assuming they didn't have it chopped off and scooped out. Because trans means chopped off and scooped out. Because otherwise it's not trans. It's a spiritual witness feeling. Remember? Seed. Prayed about, and you got the good feeling for it. No fruit. Because this has been the age-old joke against Catholics. If everyone were nuns and monks, the human race would go extinct. It is a no-duh situation. Produce the results of the word. What would happen if everybody are nuns and monks? Everybody dies. I know, angels and demons. The pre-pope had sex with the nun and produced a baby who would then go on and murder his dad and didn't know it was his dad. And then Tom Hanks to the rescue. But, yeah, this was an attempt by psychologists from Nazi Germany, thanking their American liberators, to exterminate Americans with the LGBTQ movement. to mass exterminate humans. Whenever anybody says words that would result in the fruit of mass extermination, you know they're the enemy. Just, oh my God. So, like and subscribe. What do you think?